Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Dhṛtarāṣṭra quits home, Text 31. Edition and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the brāhmaṇas. He then entered the palace to pay his respects to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Purport. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was the most pious king because he personally practiced daily the pious duties for the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing they should offer respects to the deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the brāhmaṇas in charity land, cows, grains, gold, etc., and at last offering to the elderly members due respects and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the sādhus cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Modern householders are practiced to different modes of life, namely to rise late and then take bed tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices as mentioned above. The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice, and therefore the whole generation glides towards hell. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sādhus. Like Dhṛtarāṣṭra, the materialistic person may take lessons from a sādhu like Vidura, and thus be cleansed of the effects of modern life. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, however, could not find in the palace his two uncles, namely Dhṛtarāṣṭra and Vidura, along with Gandhari, the daughter of King Subala. He was anxious to see them, and therefore asked Sanjaya, the private secretary of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. Om Gyantamidandasya Jnanarashilakaya Chakshamitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Yata 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 Yasmin Duskaram Sukaram Bhavet Vistate Vipryatim Shri Chaitanya Nanamitam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sri Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakapaturu Vischa Prasindu Vicha Patitanam Bhavnivyo Vaishyavyo Namo Namaha. So offering respects to our superiors is essential for advancement in both material and spiritual life, to get blessings. In India we know this. It's very essential to get blessings from superiors, either teachers or from your parents or anyone really. Who can give blessings? We're always searching for blessings. My mother and my uncle were a bit worried about me because I'm not getting married. And they wanted to talk to my spiritual master about His Holiness Kadamba Swami. You know, they were trying to pressure me. It's like, I've been putting it off, and I was following the Bhagavatam's advice with this. Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj was speaking to Narada Muni in the 7th canto, and he says that what do you do when you have materialistic relatives giving you advice, especially if they're superiors? You know, they're telling you should engage in material life. You know, how do you respond to this? So Narada Muni told him, well, you superficially agree, and then you do spiritual life. You know, you renounce. So I did the same thing. So I've been traveling for like 12 years, so the first kind of 8, 9, 10 years. The first years that I was like traveling and being a brahmachari, my mom would say, okay, now you come home, you stay with me, you get married, we'll find you a girl, and that's it. And I would argue, no, this is more important. This is the instruction of my spiritual master. No, I can't do it. And a big argument. But then I saw this advice, the art of not listening. I think also in Indian culture you have this. Guru Prabhu talks about two types of false egos. So there's a Western false ego, where someone asks you to do something you don't want to do. Like, oh, can you please do this thing? So the Westerner would say, no, I will not do this, I don't want to. But the Indian false ego is like, oh, can you do this for me? And they'll say, yes, definitely, and they won't do it. So I think it's coming from the Bhagavatam. So when I saw this advice, so then I told my mother, like, yes, I will. After 1 year, I'll do this 1 more year, and then then I'll marry. So I did that for 10 years. There was no argument, and she still kept favorable towards me. And then last year, she was asking, so, when are you going to be a Swami? And I go, oh, I was like surprised. Why are you asking me this? I was surprised. She goes, yeah, I think it'll be good. I go, okay, yeah, my spiritual master, wants me to stay, as a brahmachari. So I don't know. What are your blessings? So yes, blessings is a very important thing. So when my mother met my spiritual master, along with my uncle, so they were trying to tell Mahārāja, like, yeah, we want him to marry. And then Mahārāja was saying, like, but you have an older son, don't you? Like, the elder son, he's married. He's like, yeah, he's married. And because mom wanted grandchildren, right? Mom wants grandchildren. So then my brother and his wife were trying to have a child, but it wasn't happening, thousands of dollars spending on specialists, this and that. And my mom was telling Mahārāja, like, yeah, it's not happening. And Mahārāja says, that's okay. Sometimes the baby comes later, like that. And they'll be like that. But like, okay, he can marry then, have grandchildren. It's like, no, it's okay. You have your older son, and he's working, and he can give you like financial support. Everything is there materially, and eventually children will come. But this one is pointing to me. He'll bring you many blessings. And then my mom was satisfied. Yes, okay, yeah. You can bring many blessings. That's very important. The amazing thing about this was that just a few months later, my brother's wife was pregnant with a child. Now they have a 6-year-old daughter. And I was thinking, this is amazing, because they went to specialists and spent thousands on nothing. But by blessings of sadhu, even something like a child can come. And what to speak of blessings for spiritual life. So it was like double. So blessings is very important. This is the scientific way to advance both materially and spiritually. So we see here Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira knows such a science. The most pious king, Dharmaraj, he represented Dharma. He never went against Dharma, and he's setting an example for the dharmic householder to rise early. Yes, this is always a struggle. So to rise early, we see Krishna even set such an example. He would be embraced by his queen. And then by the call of the rooster, he would awake before sunrise, and the queen would curse the rooster. Why? I won't be able to embrace my Lord anymore. And Krishna, yes, he would do so much yajna, and he would meditate on the Lord while he meditated on himself. Doesn't mean we meditate on ourselves. We follow Krishna by meditating on him. And he would give in charity so many cows to the brāhmaṇas and grain. And he would look at auspicious items like golden calves, statues of calves, things like this. So many auspicious things. So to start the morning in such an auspicious way is essential for the householder. And simultaneously, so much blessings come. When you give in charity to the brāhmaṇas, they bless you, with spiritual knowledge, with material advancement, whatever is desired. By offering sacrifices to the demigods, just as because we have this Panchasuni Yajna in Vedic times. Suna means violence. So there's 5 types of unknown violence you can commit. When you walk, you may step on an insect. When you light a fire, living entities are killed. It says fetching water. So I don't know what that means, but you can kill living entities. And when you're so they didn't have powdered spices. When you're grinding your spices, you can kill some of the living entities. And I think that's all I forgot. Remember? 5th one. Okay. But even when you're breathing in, you kill so many microbes. You're a murderer on the spot. So then the householder would try to purify themselves every day of such violent activities and every morning by doing this Panchasuni Yajna. But us as devotees, we do it by chanting Hare Krishna. Namno hi yavati shakti papani harine hare tavakatam nashaktanti patakam patiki naraha. It said that when you chant one name of Krishna, you can be purified, then more sins you can commit in a lifetime. Krishna. Problem is we live so many sinful lifetimes, so then you may have to chant a little more. So yes, we need purification, we need blessings, we need to start our day in such an auspicious way. But we see in modern society, how do they start their day? Turn on the news, and what's the news filled of? Bad news. There's this saying in English, no news is good news. That means all the news is bad. You hear all this mundane sound vibration. But when we hear transcendental sound vibration, hearing kirtan, chanting the holy name, hearing the philosophy of the Bhagavatam, the good news, Christians say, we bring the good news, I've come to bring the good news. Yes, this is the good news. The Bhagavatam is, it's like bathing the consciousness. We bathe our consciousness in sound vibration. And it's sound, what you hear will shape your perception. The more you hear that the sky is falling. You heard that story about some chicken said the sky is falling? They taught us when we were children. No? Did you hear in school? That the chicken has said the sky is falling? No. Or the boy who cried wolf? So these are all lies. The chicken said, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Everyone's freaking out. Oh, maybe it's true. Because the chicken just kept saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling. They're all trying to find shelter or something. Eventually, I think they went to some cave and got eaten by a bear or something like that. Yeah, so the lies. And then you start to believe the more you hear it. So we need to always hear the absolute truth. This is the most important thing. And in the mornings, when you expose yourself to such sound vibration, that sets your whole day. That sets the whole day. And we're so fortunate that we have Prabhupada's lectures. I don't know if some of you got that box, the Prabhupada box, and you just press play and Prabhupada's just telling you the absolute truth. And he may say the same thing, but we need to hear the same thing all the time. You are not this body. You are an eternal spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. You must serve Krishna. This is the purpose of your life. How many times do we need to hear this? Every day, all the time, we need to hear this. That we are not this body. How many times I have this pain in my knee, it's telling me I'm this body. I'm like, no. But if I identify with soul, this pain wouldn't matter so much. It'd be like some superficial thing. That'd be so nice. Wouldn't it be nice to identify with the soul? Instead of this bag full of blood, pus and stool. No, I don't want to identify with this. So that's the power of sound, association of sound. Shimpata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtan. Hear not the story Bajrane Vidunati Siddhisita. That by hearing the messages of Krishna, the super soul in the heart understands that you're very honest and eager to hear about him. Oh, you want to hear about me? So then he almost purifies all those material desires, get purified. Vidunati. So apparently this word vidunati, in India, like people have the quilts and they're full of like cotton and fur, but in the summer you put them away. So then all those like cotton, they all, cake up and clump up together, right? So then apparently there's a man with the vidunati, he walks through the village and he has like a big string with this like, it's like a bow with a string and he plays it and it plays like very low frequency note. So then everyone knows, oh, vidunati has come, So they put the quilts out, and then by playing this vidunati, the sound vibration like breaks up all the cotton up and becomes all like puffy, and then you have the quilt again. Yeah, so apparently all this material desire and everything's all caked up in the heart. So by the sound vibration of the Bhagavatam, when you hear these verses and the philosophy behind it, then the material desires are kind of like thrown out, They're not caked in anymore. So this is the power of hearing. And it says just Shrimata, it just means just by hearing. You don't even have to understand. The sound has that power to actually do that. I don't know, I saw a video, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. There's some Filipino invention that they can put out fires by sound. They have some like sort of big speaker thing, and then they just sort of play it or like use it on the fire and it goes out. So they used to light fire by mantra. There's the power of mantra. We usually hear mantra means like the meaning of mantra means like hymn in English, but sometimes you find in Sanskrit they'll translate mantra into spell. When we think of spell, we think of like witches or wizards, and they cast spells and then things, magic happens, So yes, we need to be under the spell of Krishna's beauty, Krishna's holy name, the Mahamantra, the great spell of being enchanted by Krishna, by the Bhagavatam, by the verses of the Bhagavatam. Because what is the alternative in this? We're here in the Gold Coast. What is the alternative? To hear the news, to have coffee and a cigarette in bed, first thing in the morning, right? First thing they, check the phone, social media, all the junk, everyone's materialistic mind feed into you. At least in the morning. In the morning, we don't touch the phone to look at social media or internet. Just don't have the internet on right away. Have Prabhupada, right away. Have Prabhupada playing, or your spiritual master's lecture playing straight away. You may be half awake, but then, the spiritual master may say something to just wake you up. Hey! Don't be in ignorance. So, yes, at least the morning, we protect the morning as something that's sacred. Something where we can get so much blessings from the Supreme Lord and his representatives. Yeah, Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, by doing all these rituals, the last thing he would do, he'd go to the elderly. So he was looking after Dhṛtarāṣṭra and Gandhari after the whole war. This is the section here. And he didn't find them. Where did they go? So Vidura has arrived back from his pilgrimage after Duryodhana insulted him. And he went on pilgrimage, he met with Uddhava, Maitreya Muni. He heard all the philosophy that Krishna gave to Uddhava before he left this world. So it's quite interesting. I mean, this conversation, like what Krishna says to Uddhava is kind of mentioned like 3 times nearly, 3 or 4 times. So you have the Uddhava Gita, which is in the 11th canto. Then you have the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. And then we have Vidura appearing in the 1st canto to preach to Dhṛtarāṣṭra. So that same conversation is appearing nearly 3 times. You know, to instruct him, don't stay here, are you crazy? You know? It's like, yeah, he was trying to save his brother from like further ignorance. Such a compassionate soul. If I was Vidura, I probably wouldn't have come back. Because he was so stubborn, Dhṛtarāṣṭra. You know, he was so stubborn. You know, he thought he was always right, even though so much suffering came for him. And you, okay, like you may, we kind of watch Mahabharata, the series, or we kind of hear like the Kauravas were bad and the Pandavas were good. But if you look at it from Dhṛtarāṣṭra's position, okay, when you're born, you're the eldest son, but you can't have the kingdom because you're blind. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, your other brother will take it. Your younger brother. Okay, your younger brother passes away, and then you look after your kids and his kids. But you're still the older son, right? That should take the... Shouldn't your sons take it? Like, you may be blind, but your sons are not. Like, you could probably think, like, you know, they deserve it, you know. But obviously, Duryodhana was not qualified. And Krishna had a bigger plan. Because Krishna's plan was to rid the whole earth of all the demoniac kings. And to install Yudhiṣṭhira as the righteous king, as the Raja Rishi. To uplift the whole society. To relieve Bhumi Devi of her burden of all these demoniac kings. That battle had to take place. Duryodhana was instrumental. Dhṛtarāṣṭra was instrumental to start this war, to make this happen. We find later on that we see Prabhupada mentions that Dhṛtarāṣṭra is actually an associate of Krishna. So we can see there's a whole big picture behind it all. And there's so many lessons we can find from, not just from the devotees, but even those who are against the devotees. Narada Muni says like, wow, the determination of the demons is so amazing, you know, that they strive, that's like so focused on getting material advancement and sense gratification. It's like nothing in the way. I wish I had the same determination to worship my Lord. So we can even learn from the demons as well. Here, Vidura came and tried to take Dhṛtarāṣṭra out. That he still had mercy upon him. And says, what are you doing here? And you're like, your teeth is falling out, your liver's not working anymore, and you're still trying to enjoy your material body. Look, you're eating the remnants left by Bhima. Sometimes the sādhu. Sādhu is not one who cuts. That's also a translation. One who cuts. It says just, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, just like when someone is like the, you know, a Shakta is doing his, sacrificing a goat. You know, no mercy, just cuts it like that. So the sadhu is the same thing. No mercy for our natas. You just say something, just got it like this, you know. So you can imagine how much it hurt, because Bhima killed all his sons. And now you're living with him and taking his remnants like a dog in the house. Oh, he's king. Dhṛtarāṣṭra he still thinks himself as a king. And then to be reduced to not just to a dog eating the remnants of the one who killed all your sons. There's so much emotion in the Bhagavatam. It's like so much drama actually. If you look into it, the psychology of it all, oh my gosh, how would you feel? Someone said that to me. So he's like, okay, it's time to wake up. What do I do now? He's right. So then Vidura says, let's go. Let's perfect our lives. So they've gone to the forest to perform austerities to perfect their lives. So Yudhiṣṭhira, he still feels guilty about all this. He felt guilty about 640 million soldiers killed just for his sake. And that's why they had to go to Bhishma-deva. I think you already went through, yes, you went through that chapter. No one could appease him. Vyas couldn't appease him, even Krishna couldn't appease him. But they went to Bhishma-deva and he gave a Bhagavatam class while lying on a bed of arrows to tell them the different types of dharma and the reason why he should rule. So we see Yudhiṣṭhira is worried about this and he's inquiring to Sanjaya, the private secretary of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. So the point is that we come here naked and we go naked. But the purpose of human form of life is to attain love of Krishna. The love of Krishna is a gift. And we're just trying to attract that mercy, to try and attract those blessings. Srila Prabhupada set up this movement, set up this morning program that you can be showered with blessings. In the Nectar of Devotion, there's 64 items of devotional service. And in most temples, you perform pretty much like 52 or 53 of those items. And then if you look at the Nectar of Devotion, the first 9 chapters, it illustrates what benefit you get from each item of devotional service. It's like, oh, you get this, and then you become so enthusiastic. So Prabhupada is so expert that he set up this movement in such a way that you can just be showered with blessings just by standing around in a temple room, just by sitting and hearing some philosophy, just by being in kirtan, by taking prasadam. You know, there's so many blessings there. The association of devotees. It's actually very simple. That's why we take it for granted. We usually think, all right, for me to advance, to get the goal of life, to go hard in life, I have to work, I have to sweat, you know. But here it's so easy. You just sort of stand around near each other, and you know, there's God here, and okay, offer a flower to Prabhupada. Yeah, so many blessings. Tulsi Devi. Okay, we go around. So many blessings. And like I said, blessings is essential for advancement in both material and spiritual life. So we must always place ourselves in the position that we can receive those blessings. This is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. Not just for ourselves, but for the entire humanity, for the entire universe. So I'll stop here. You can discuss. I'm sure you have something to share. Madhavananda, add.
It's not related to the glass. You know, sometimes Christians, when you go out on the street, and they take our books, and when you turn around, they throw our books in the bin. It only happened again, day before yesterday. And then I don't know whom I heard that even us, we devotees, we take books from Mayavadis and throw them in the bin, or take them just thinking in a way that, oh, we have taken one book away from a Mayavadi philosopher, so that at least we are saving one person. Then what's the difference between us and those Christians? I don't know who told me. Somebody told me this story that even devotees take books from Mayavadi philosophers and throw them in the bin. To me, that's no difference between us and a Christian doing the same thing to us. Because if they are propagating Mayavad, yes, we should stop them, but we should stop them by our philosophy or with our knowledge or with our thing. But doing these means of, I find these are cheap means of stopping someone to do his activities. Like, you know, we have to stop something. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It reminds me of a story of Prabhupada. So he met with one Mayavadi guru with his followers, and then it was a good exchange. It wasn't like, so I mean, I don't think it got so intimate where they had a conversation, but they kind of met. And this Mayavadi guru says, "Oh, I have this box of pamphlets. Would you like some?" You know. And then Prabhupada said, yeah, accept it. If someone gives, you accept, okay. And then they're having like a Sunday program, and so many guests are there. And then Prabhupada tells his followers, like, can you get that box of Mayavadi pamphlets, please? And they're like, okay, Prabhupada, forget. Okay, so give a pamphlet to everyone sitting down. It's like time for prasad, so everyone's sitting in rows. So everyone take a pamphlet. And they're like, what? Just put this one. You just give them, okay? Okay, so everyone's got a pamphlet? They're like, yes. Okay, now put it in front of you on the floor. And he used it as plates for prasadam. So in this way, Prabhupada engaged the Mayavadi in service to the Lord. So, I mean, the mood was, in that sense, was like, okay, how can I engage this person in Krishna consciousness? And I mean, with the Christian taking a book, throwing it in the bin, I mean, I've heard so many stories where someone found a book in the bin and became a devotee. Someone just like saw it and like, so many times it's happened. So I mean, these books have their own life, and they don't just go to one person, they go through many people, through generations of people. Someone's grandmother got a book and it's in the attic, and then someone else read it, and I got the book from a friend of mine, like this. So in terms of Prabhupada's books, like if someone sort of just throws it, or like in the bin, or just disrespects it, we kind of feel, there's another story. There was one book distributor in a music festival, and like people were drunk and partying, and so he's giving like Krishna book to one guy. This guy was drunk and he just like threw it, and it just went into the sky, and the book distributor was like, oh no, And at the same festival, there was this guy. He was so depressed, he was so upset, and he was just like, God, who are you? I want to know who you are, like this, And then Krishna book just landed in his hand, And he read it and he became a devotee. And obviously he went to the temple and he told this story, and then obviously he could connect with the actual book distributor, and now we know the story. So, I mean, the books, they already got someone or so many names on them. And we get blessings. We didn't write the book. We didn't print the book. We kind of just put in someone's hand and ask and take someone's money for it. We get so many blessings. Prabhupada is like, he saw Srila Bhaktisiddhanta embrace his brahmachari disciples. They just distributed one-page magazine for like a few paisa. He embraced one magazine, which is one page. What to speak of like 100-page book? How many blessings do we get from Prabhupada or from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? From the parampara. That it means so much to them. That kind of thing. And in terms of like us burning Mayavadi books or throwing them out and stuff, I've seen devotees do it, and I have to just give my own opinion on that point. I mean, like, it's really weird because you'll find one and it has like pictures of Krishna and it's like, it has like Gita or some Upanishad. You think, wow, this is maybe important, you don't want to disrespect. And even I think in school, like even for your schooling, you would respect your instruments, your books, your exercise books and everything, even for material mundane things. So I would not know. I think opinionated would be like, yeah, well, they're going to destroy people's lives, so we better get rid of them. And I don't know, what did Prabhupada do in relation? Like, he even read from like Ramakrishna's Gita, when in the beginning.
Initially he didn't have it.
He didn't have a Gita, so he had read the translation. Yeah. So I mean, it's really difficult to sort of like, you would have to be really expert to sort of like take the good from it, I guess. You know?
Or how about we just say no, sorry, like Mahārāja is giving a book.
Okay, yeah, we can at least do that, yeah.
Because these Christians, they come, they take, they talk, oh yeah, please give us your book.
Yeah.
And the minute you turn around, the book is in the book.
Yeah.
Book is in the book.
I think we also have to, in terms of making sure the book is looked at, I think sort of discern also, like envious people or if they're not. I guess that's why like getting a donation helps.
Yes. If they give donation, at least you know.
It's more likely to hold on to it. Yeah, so it's quite difficult. Because I've seen like, there's like a devotee, he made a video, he's in the Himalayas and he's like, he's talking Nepali so I can't understand him. And he's showing this book, Bhagavad Gita, this and that, you know. And then he's just like, yeah, Sanatana Dharma Ki Jai, and he throws the book into the river like this. But later on, we contacted him. He said, no, this was a Mayavadi version of that. So you sort of feel like, oh, okay. Well, it went into a holy river. Yeah, so I think it's one's individual opinion in terms of dealing with Mayavadi.
Just a side note, I only find out the day before yesterday that book score was a thing from 1579 AD. Like Narottam Das Thakur, they used to have leaflets on the palm leaves, and they used to give annual how many leaves they distributed.
Wow.
And then on the bottom they said they distributed a few hundred, and they said we'll wait for the technology to come down the line that there will be thousands and thousands of books will be going by someone. So it was already predicted that at one point these thousands and thousands of books will be going on.
Yeah. Actually, it's really amazing, this book distribution, because like, I don't know if you look at other countries that had like communistic regimes, you know, you couldn't get books out or print them. So it looks like it's coming along the lines, like, we're allowed to do it under this free speech thing. But it looks like that free speech thing is getting like subdued more and more. So there'll be a time where you won't be able to print any books or even distribute it. So it's quite imperative on us nowadays to distribute as many books as possible, print as many and distribute as many, because we've got so much opportunity now. You know, because these demons, once they figure out that this is going to destroy their whole plans, then they'll use force. They'll use a lot of force. Just like we saw with the lockdowns and epidemics, pandemic thing, you know. All preaching nearly stopped, you know, everyone went online, but then got stuck online. You know, we lost many devotees. They couldn't survive without association. So they're ready to just close things up if we're too powerful. So it's really good to get the books out, because then at least, you know, someone can start it on their own. So, yeah, book distribution is important.
Well, I'm just trying to understand the words that we are today, and it says the distribution is called ajāta-śatruḥ, whose enemy was even never born. When we speak of having an enemy and then became a good friend. But then we see that how he was implicated in that battle of Kurukshetra, to the point where even his sons were martyred. So how do we explain that? Him being an ajāta-śatruḥ?
Yeah, he never saw anyone as an enemy. That was the idea. Like, he even called Duryodhana Suyodhana or something like that. So apparently it's like a good version of the name. What does Duryodhana mean? Bad money.
I'm not sure.
So he was equaling good. So yeah, he never saw anyone as an enemy. So that's how that's explained. I don't know how you would do that. But Yudhiṣṭhira, he even fought in a war killing people and he didn't see. Just, I'm doing my duty, and you know, he's a kshatriya, you know. I'm just doing my duty. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, just with this context as well, we see that throughout Mahabharata, Vidura is instructing Dhṛtarāṣṭra. He never listens, and this is probably the first time he listened, like right at the end. I was just wondering what would have caused that change in heart, like eventually.
To look at it.
And like, the reason I'm asking this is like because maybe we can use that in preaching as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this, like we said, the sādhu is one who cuts. Also, a sādhu can be one, like soft like a rose and as hard as a thunderbolt. So, I mean, Chanaka Pandit gives the instruction how to instruct. And you need to have like, you need to be superior to them, elder. But he was younger.
Younger, yeah.
So in that sense, no. But you can have a relationship. So the relationship was there. And I guess he was superior spiritually. So that superiority was there. And there's definitely a relationship there, brothers. Yeah, so one needs to have a relationship and be a superior. Otherwise you cannot instruct. And if you're worried about someone who's going down the wrong path, then you advise their superior about what's happening and what you think is wrong with them, which, if they're going in a wrong direction. Because if you don't have a relationship and you're not a superior and you're trying to instruct, then they will not hear you. They will become angry like that. So there's a bit of etiquette there. Vidura, he wanted to follow Uddhava. Uddhava felt inferior, being younger. So then Maitreya Muni came to instruct him. So there's some etiquette was sort of required. Yeah, spiritually superior. Yeah, makes more sense.
So I think in the light of the previous verse, as because of March, I mean, previous verse was about Gandhari, but the one previous to that was about Dhṛtarāṣṭra and how he decided to go. And Mahārāja is saying that the change of heart was probably possible because he took the form of humility. And he was quoting the Bhagavad Gita chapter 30, the Amantika, right? That's one of the items of knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's the first item, humility. And Mahārāja is saying that humility also came because, like how you say that the sādhus' words might be like a sword, but heart is like the butter.
Yeah.
And also in this case, he became so much enlightened or in a way initiated by the instructions of Maitreya Muni. So that effect was also working on him, and that brought about humility. And through that humility he understood, okay, now this is actually the time. What Vidura is saying is right. That's what Mahārāja was saying.
Yeah, that's kind of our preaching is like we're finding opportunities where people have taken like a humble role. But most of the time we're proud. Even with ourselves, we kind of don't take instruction until we're kind of like, oh, nothing worked.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to wait for the right time.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. And that's why it's imperative for us to sort of always be out there, available for people. If you look at like Jehovah's Witness, they're everywhere just with the stand. But they make people, they make members because they're available.
Yeah.
Someone's frustrated with life, nothing's working. Okay, I need something that's like something to do with God or religion. And then the first person they run into is a Jehovah's Witness. Or like, these guys are there every night on Cover Avenue. And then, there's always someone having some frustration and, okay, I'm hopeless, nothing to do. They're there.
Yeah.
And then they give like, Jesus loves you, someone cares about you, you should try this path, I'll show you some things, this is what Jesus does, look how forgiving he is. And so they have faith in Jesus and they want to follow that path. So somehow we just have to be available for people out there. And I think, even just to have a book table out there for an hour or two on a regular basis, I think they'll go down really well because they'll always see you. And they go, okay, they're there if I need them, you know, like this. So, preaching. We have so much to give, but we're just waiting for our opportunity to give, you know. Yeah. And the Kali Yuga, everyone's disturbed, so there'll always be customers, you could say. Yeah. There's only very few that will just admit it. Okay, should we stop? Yeah. Thank you so much. Dhṛtarāṣṭra Bhagavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.